Yo, right here in the small box, we got the villain in front of us. We're gonna dive in with this Nicki Minaj mess. But let's rewind a little bit and get started, all right? Let's make it happen. Yo, you, right here in the small box, Welcome back to Flex Mob Reactions, only on the Flexing Mind Network. Is that new? What's good, Tiff? How y'all feeling? Welcome back to the channel. We're gonna be talking about this witch lady. Today. As you can see, we have Erikakirk. Okay, we got Erikakirk. Okay, hold on. Come on, bro. One time for the white people. Okay, we got Erikakirk. Understand me? And we got Nicki Minaj. She's an honorary lady. So shout out to the both of them. Not really, but you know, it's all love here, kinda. Bro, Nicki, what are you doing with her? I guess that's what kind of time you on, girl. Jesus God. Anyway, look. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the video. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the reaction. Hit that notification bell so you get notified when I drop my videos or when I'm live, like right now. And let's go ahead and get started, bro.
And all the artists that I've seen, all the female artists that we know, Nicki Minaj has to take the biggest fall off from any female artist to ever touch a microphone, to ever grace the stage. She has taken the biggest fall off that I've ever seen from a female artist. And it's not just because she decided to sit down with Turning Point USA. It's because at the same time, in the same breath, she's also denouncing people that supported her for a very long time.
Think about it, though. The same people that's been on your back for numerous amount of years through the snow season that you had. And trust me, that was a long snow season, a longer snow season than the kind of snow season that we got in Canada. But you understand. But all those people that's been on her back, she said, "Get the fuck off me, bitch!" Like
the barbz, you know, she takes pride in the barbz. But in this interview, in this back and forth that she has with Erikakirk, Charlie Kirk's wife, she ends up denouncing anything that she's ever done in hip hop by saying that this is the best thing that she's ever been a part of, which is Turning Point USA, which is crazy to believe, which is crazy to think. But then you hear what Nicki says on Twitter. She's already not all the way there in the first place. So I guess why not go even further on the deep end? But Nicki Minaj had sat down with Erikakirk, and she asked her, you know, what makes you decide to speak up? What makes you decide to align yourself with our allegiance? And Nicki Minaj says that she's tired of getting messed.
Wait, what do you mean call ice on her? That's crazy.
Around, tired of people pushing her around.
I said I'm sitting this.
But what's crazy to think is that she's the one that messes
Josh,
with everybody on the internet. She's saying that she's tired of getting messed up, people messing her up. But in reality, she's the one that's messing people up on the internet. And this is the part that bothers me to the point where I'm like, dang, bro, what has it come to? At one point, you were hip hop royalty, and now you don't even care.
Hip hop royalty where? Now, is she one of the female rappers that was doing her job? I mean, yeah. Keep in mind, when she was out, there was no real competition for her. We got a lot of female rappers now. Does she consider those ladies her daughters and sons? I don't know. But all I'm saying, when Nicki Minaj was around, she ain't had no competition, so she did what she needed to do. That's all I'm going to say.
About what you've done on stages, because this is the best part of your career by far than any other concert that you ever done. Nicki Minaj has came out and said that this is the best thing that's happened to her in her career. Better than her performing on stage with Lil Wayne. Better than her in her time with Young Money. Better than her time winning her awards for her music. All of that, earning her fans, doing all of this. All of that does not compare than to be on stage with Erikakirk at Turning Point USA. That is by far crazy. Crazy to hear. Crazy to hear. Now, Nicki Minaj says it out of her own mouth, and that's the problem, right? The soundbite from this clip says, Nicki Minaj on being the M-Fest 2025, I traveled the world. I performed for huge crowds all over the world. And no matter how many songs I do on that stage, it didn't mean as much as this. It didn't mean as much as me and Erikakirk being on Turning Point USA.
I'm sorry, this alone, like, yo, let me tell you something about hip hop. hip hop don't need to take part in political games. The reason why people of hip hop take part in political games is simply because they're looking to get something out of it. They're in there for selfish reasons. Let me make that clear. People that are in the political game that show their face in moments like that, they're looking for some selfish things for themselves. They're not focused on the community when they're representing one. You know what I'm saying? So anytime I see that, especially when I look at this picture, you can't fool me. All right? Even if I was blind, God damn it, I'll be seeing. Okay? You can't fool me with this right here. Nicki Minaj is looking for something. I don't know if she's looking for some protection. I don't know if she's looking for some legal power. If you look at that whole Jay-Z, that she, like all them tweets about Jay-Z, is she trying to get some legal power to go after him? I don't know. But the whole song and dance that you see on this stage with her and Erykah, she's trying to get something. So she's sitting on the stage to bless Erykah so that Erykah might, and the key word is might, bless her with some of her network. Remember that.
Let's say together, doing this broadcast, this means more to me than any of the accolades that I achieved in my hip hop career. It means more to me than all of the people that supported me throughout my career. And the fans, her fans specifically, are feeling the effects of this. They are so offended at this, especially
Yo, CR, bro, what's good, man? How you feeling?
With Nicki Minaj turning her back on her own fans and the people that have stuck by her this whole entire time. Look, the other thing too is, right, they're saying that she's telling boys to be boys and girls to be girls, not knowing that her fan base, comes from all different shapes and sizes, all different types of background, and they're catching wind of Nicki Minaj. We have this person right here saying that they are no longer a Nicki Minaj fan. They said, not a barb anymore. Been a good 10 years. Rest in peace, Nicki Minaj. Protect the dolls. Now they're protecting the dolls from the doll herself. Now that is crazy, bro. That is a crazy turn of events. That is a crazy way to look at things now, right? Because you're understanding that Nicki Minaj is finally revealing her true colors and that there's people that have been in support of her that she doesn't like. But if she needs them to go at somebody like Cardi B, she'll send them all over on Twitter against them. She'll do that, bro. And this is the part where it gets ridiculous when she says that she's tired of being pushed around.
Politics is just a game of power. That's a fact. We do not follow Nicki political views at all in this hip hop space. Can we get an amen in the church? We do not align with anything that this snow woman is trying to attain within this hip hop space. Never forget, we love music too much here. We don't have time for foolishness like this, but to analyze the situation, to understand the possible future is also important at the same time. That's why we're here. But let's make it clear. Nicki Minaj, we do not care. Okay? We do not care.
When you're the one that does the pushing around with your fan base, your crazed fan base, right? But the fan base, just because they're crazy, doesn't mean that they have feelings, I guess, because now they're all offended by the things that you're saying, by the people that you're setting yourself up with. And then people wonder why when Ebro calls Drake a right wing, people think that he's crazy. Because look at this, bro. The person that he grew up with in his career, Young Money, Nicki Minaj, Lil Wayne, Drake. Look where she's aligning herself with. Look where Drake aligns himself with. Aiden Ross.
The big three of Young Money, Lil Wayne, Nicki, and Aubrey. Every single one of them got their whole foot. They might got their whole leg in the swimming pool where all the politics be at. They all three of them. The Young Money greats. The Rushmore of Young Money. All three of them got their whole foot in the pool of politics. Aubrey and that little Happy Dad little setup. You got Nicki with Erykah, and then you got Lil Wayne just being stupid. It's crazy. This is where you play, bruh.
Ross doing streams with Trump. And this is just me speaking my mind, my opinion. We'll keep it a legend, right? But my whole point of this video is to say that there has never been a bigger fall from grace from a female artist than there is with Nicki Minaj. This is crazy, bro. Now, to be honest, I'm not a big Nicki Minaj fan. I'm not looking up updates for Nicki Minaj. I mean, to be quite honest with you, I've never really cared about her music. I thought it was a whole different type of shtick that I wasn't hip to. You know, her like glitching out on stage and doing these like over the top performances, like with her face expression. I never really liked any of that, right? I don't really rock with that, to be honest with you. But acting crazy and being crazy, I think the whole time around, she wasn't always all the way there. You see what I'm saying? And, you know, obviously she's done more things, like when she went out her way to speak for Nigeria, I think it was, when she went and spoke, you know.
Bro, don't even get me started on that. Like, Nicki Minaj, you from the island. You see it. You're from the Caribbean. You have no business chatting about Nigeria. But they wanted to choose her as the spokeswoman for the loving place of Nigeria. Me personally, if I was African like that, well, I'm technically am, because Jamaicans are technically Ghanaian. My point is, I would never accept that.
To all these other political people, all these other people, when she took that podium, you know, I think like a few months back or a month or so ago, that's when I was like, okay, she's coming out of her shell. She's really just letting people know, this is what I'm wearing. I'm taking the mask off. I'm showing people that if you rock with me, you rock with me. If you don't, you don't. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I'm just glad that they're finally starting to realize that the person that they idolize is not who they thought they were. It's not what they thought that they were in their whole entire career. She denounced her whole entire career on stage to gain some type of political respect. Maybe she doesn't think that people take her seriously. Maybe she thinks that people don't think she's smart. Maybe they think that all she does is just throw it back and that's all people know her for. But it did the exact opposite. Nobody takes her seriously. Nobody would take this seriously. I take her less serious. I didn't even think that could be possible. I didn't think that I could take her less serious than I do now. She's one of the biggest female artists that ever, you know, touched the microphone. And she's also one of the biggest female artists to have one of the biggest fall offs. I guess it's rightfully so, right? The bigger they are, the harder they fall, is what I'm trying to say, right? A massive.
The Young Money Rushmore, all three of them are little rich kids. Emphasis on rich kids. The arrogance, the ego, the just utter stupidity that's in all three of them. Like, do they not realize the path that you walked led you here because of the foolish mistakes that you continue to make? In my brain, this is all familiar because we've seen similar things like this before. Not the exact same thing, but when you see certain rappers align with certain political people, we all know that's for something. They need something in return. It's a handshake. Anytime you see that on TV or on your phone, whatever, that's a little handshake right there. There was a little deal. You think they're just going to message erikakirk and be like, oh, I'd love to be on Turning Point America with you. I had my own things to talk. No, that's a handshake. That's a deal. They're getting something in the back, though, behind the scenes. Something going on. Trust and believe me. Trust and believe me. But, you know, at face value, they're definitely the kind of individuals that would clout chase. But I know this ish. I am all too familiar with all this garbage. You could not fool me, girl. I tell you that right now.
Fall from grace. I already got the politics involved. I got this whole crazy hive involved. You know, it's funny, right? Because people know Nicki Minaj for her barbz, her crazed fan base. Well, she just...
Okay, first of all, yo, go get her live. Let me tell you something. Who said I allowed Snoop Dogg, Jay, and Bey, or Beyonce, to that I'm cool with them? I'm not cool with none of them. All of them needs to be fixed up. Period. Nicki Minaj is the conversation of today because this is the most recent ish. When Snoop Dogg did that, I'm just like, I never really cared for Snoop Dogg the person. I cared about Snoop Dogg the character. In my brain, I have the ability to separate the music from the person. I will always appreciate the music, but when it comes to the person, it's just, Bro, you changed, bro. You not the same no more. You are not the same no more. You disappoint me. So don't come in here and try to say that.
Announce them for an even bigger, crazier fan base. So I guess maybe that's her goal. Maybe she knows that I could only go to the people that are brainwashed. I could only go and try to claim more success that way. What other way to gain it than the person that is me, but on the political level? You know, when we think about Turning Point USA, the whole MAGA movement, they have a crazy fan base. They have a crazy, crazy, crazy support system through that, to say the very least, you know, without saying all the crazier stuff. And Nicki Minaj, even though hers is crazy and big and loyal, she decided to go with them. Maybe this is all part of her plan. Maybe this is her way of staying relevant. I'm not sure what it is. But honestly, the last person that I will ever look at for political advice, or that I would ever care about an opinion about when it comes to politics, is Nicki Minaj. I would never take political advice from Nicki Minaj. I would never believe anything she says. There's no way that she did this thinking that this was going to benefit her, bro. I promise you, this is not going to do it for her. But this is what it is, bro. Nicki Minaj fell off. I think her music's going to fall off. I think she's trying to get ahead of the curve by doing this. Maybe being an influencer is not enough. Maybe she has to dip her hands in political influence to try to make something better of herself, maybe in her eyes and her perspective. Whatever it is, I don't think it's going to work. I think anything that she's doing that thinks is going to do well is going to do the exact opposite of what she plans on doing or what she plans on happening. I don't know. But y'all can tell me how you feel about this in the comments. Y'all tell me how y'all feel about this and get back to me. I just wanted to see what y'all would think. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video, man. Peace. Keep it a legend.
Yo, hold on a second. Yo, goal getter. Goal getter. Let me just say this real quick. You gotta understand where these certain people are usually congregating. That's actually a very important point. So looking at what you're saying, there are people who will give passes despite what these artists do. You also got to understand those same people that be giving the passes are the same people that all congregate on the social media app, which we also call the wilderness, which is Twitter. You think Twitter is the ideal space to be dealing with any of this? Twitter is a wasteland. It's a barren wasteland filled with individuals that just have no knowledge about anything on this planet, but they have the power and ability to talk the dumbest shit in the world, and that's where they throw the most important news. Take that and apply it to that situation that we have in front of us here. When you have all these people that just know nothing about nothing, and then you throw all this garbage at them, you think they're going to have the ability to protect the culture? None of the people on Twitter have the ability to protect the culture. There's too many idiots on Twitter. Too many people that got access to their phone, that can say whatever they want, have access to Twitter. Take that, and now we apply it over to this new guy in here, DD man, whatever your name is. Don't come in here talking like that. Because on YouTube, this is a whole different space. This is a whole different space. There's actually better control here on YouTube than Twitter. Twitter is hopeless. I can't do it. Like, I try and it just doesn't work out for me. You know? So, like, I look at your comment, I'm just like, but nobody on these social media spaces that have the biggest conversations like this can ever protect the culture, because they're not even familiar what the culture is about. They lost their way. And that's why they out there in the forest. I'm good, bro. Over here we good, bro. Reason why I'm here is because of the influence that Nicki Minaj has. She still got influence. Did she lose a lot of her fans? Yes. And I'm right there with everybody else. But she still has that influence. People are going to listen to this ish. I'm telling you, people are going to listen to this and be like, You know, I never really liked the culture like that for real. And now that Nicki Minaj is out there stepping into her truth, I feel like I can step into my own truth as well and kind of follow her lead. You know? I feel like I have a voice that makes me want to speak. You see what happens when you have idiots as leaders? This is what happens when you have idiots as leaders. It brings out more idiots. That's a disease in the culture. Let's make that clear. Idiots following idiots. The blind leading the blind, leading the blind. That's a disease to the culture. We can only do so much as intelligent people, knowing that they're shining the light on idiots. But it's cool, though. Is what it is. You know? Nah, go get it. You good, bruh. You good, man. Don't you worry. As long as you understand. Go get it. It's all good, bruh. Over here, we care about that initial first comment. You know, when you come over here to the Flex Mob Network, Flex Mob don't play. Point blank, period. You come in here acting crazy, sure, we gonna match that energy. I tell you that much. But yeah, that's all it is, man. No worries over here. It's all love then. That's it. It's all love. Now, unlike this other dude, Didi, man, brother, you might be cooked. You might be cooked, but it is what it is. Let's keep going. I still gotta watch that deleted video. I hope I can finish it by 6. Let's go.